Friends, let me introduce our first guest tonight. She's rather gorgeous. She's a native of Bangalore in India, and she teaches in New Delhi, and she's here. Her subjects are religion and English, and she's here attending the Communications Center to learn all about broadcasting, and she's just finished it. Rather delightful. She's a member of the Carmelite Order. Would you welcome, please, Sister Candida? What does that mean?
That's the Indian way of wishing. You just join your hand towards your heart.
Yeah.
It's your warm greeting.
And what does it mean in effect? Say it to me in English.
Nothing, you just say namaste, welcome.
Welcome, I see. Well, Cade Mila Fáilte. Oh, he's marvellous, isn't he? He's marvellous. Now, tell me what you're doing at the Communication Centre.
Studying how to communicate what I think of, what I feel. You're always said, talk what you feel about, talk what you know about. And I'm learning there to do this.
And will you go back then and work solely in radio and television in India?
I mean to. Whether they'll employ me or not, I don't know.
Do you get out amongst the people then at all, or is this a new idea in India to work through radio and television in religion?
We work with the people, but to work in the radio and television, perhaps I'll be the first nun.
How long are you in the order?
Just 10 years.
No feelings about leaving or anything like that?
Not at all. In fact, when I got the phone call, they said that Gay Byrne has heard about you and is interested in you. I said, tell him he's just 10 years too late. I'll join the convention.
Shucks. That's the story of my life. Did you have a boyfriend at any stage?
Of course.
You did?
I had, and I loved him very much. I'm sure he too loved me very much.
And what happened?
I always told him, I think finally I'll join the convent, so don't pin your hopes on me.
And what did he say to that?
He thought I was fooling. He kept loving me, if I might say. I hope the nuns won't attack me for this.
Are you afraid of the nuns that you meet over here?
Not at all.
No. Well, what's the difference between the nuns over here and the nuns that you have in India?
I don't think I can make any sweeping statement. I've been here only for 2 months. And I lived with only 4 nuns. And those 4 have been very nice to me. More than that, I don't think I'll be able to say anything.
Ted?
Tell me, what part of India are you in?
South of India, Bangalore. That's in Mysore state.
Yes, but you're now in. Are you working there now, or are you working?
I'm working in Delhi. For the past 6 years, I've been working in Delhi. As a teacher, we've got a school of our own with 1,500 students.
What sort of progress would you say Christianity is making now in India?
Just the progress Christianity is making in Ireland, I suppose.
I hope it's better than that.
Well, let's quantify that a little, sister. How many Christians are there in India, would you say?
We are altogether 15 million Christians. Out of that, 10 million are Catholics.
Yes. And what is the total population of India?
Just 500 million.
Yes. I think our percentage here is rather bigger than that.
Yes, it is.
Will you wear your nun's habit when you go back to India, or will you work in plain clothes?
Oh, just a few days before I left for Ireland, we got a notice. All those who like to get into sari, send in your application. I applied, but got no reply. I would very much like to get into sari, because part of it is here. I'll tell you why I wore this. It's not part of the sari. When we came to Ireland, my companion, Sister Imelda, she was in a cardigan, checked brown and white, and somebody came and said, in Ireland, nuns don't wear anything colored. It should be black. Then I got an idea. I ran upstairs, extricated this from my suitcase and said I must wear it and make history in Ireland.
So it is. Has anyone down there anything to say to Sister Candida? Come on. Yes.
Can I just ask Sister a question?
Yes.
She says she's applied to wear sari. One reads in the paper about American nuns especially getting into civilian dress. I was wondering what would Sister feel if she got into a sari, and I'm sure she's quite attractive, as all of us can see. If a boy made a pass at her, what would she say? Or what would she do?
Sorry, you've been troubled, I suppose.
I beg your pardon, I didn't
If she got into a sari.
If she got into a sari, nobody would be able to distinguish that she's a nun.
Yes.
And as we all can see that she's quite attractive.
If somebody made a
pass at her, what would she do? Would she blush or?
Would I blush? I blush even now.
Go on, what would you do? How would you cope?
I think it is an excellent chance to be in sari and yet show you are a nun.
But how would you show you're a nun?
By my dealing with the people, my dedicated life. I show interest in them, I show love for them. Not a sensual and sexual love, perhaps. And it would mark me out as a nun. Why should I, first of all, mark myself out as a nun? I don't understand.
Why should you mark yourself out as a nun by wearing different clothes? Is that what
Exactly.
you mean? Yes.
Why can't I mix with the people in an ordinary dress? First of all, in India, Christianity is supposed to be Western. And I don't like to be thought I'm a Westerner. In fact, the other day when I went to a shop, said, "Excuse me, sister, are you an American?" I looked on and said, "What does my color tell?" In India, just because I'm in this dress, a habit. I can give you another incident. The day we got into this dress, earlier we had something more enclosed. We looked very much like the owl on your program. And the day we got into this dress, a girl came up to me and said, "Sister, are you going to America?" I said, "Why? You've got into the American dress." So I feel we must get into sari, be one with the others, and yet remain dedicated and consecrated.
Do you find very wearing the sort of penny pinching, niggling rules that you normally come across in a convent?
Give me an example.
Well, I've been told that, for example, an example last week that I heard about was a nun bought a book which she used in teaching. And because the rule says that you don't have any of your own possessions, you're not allowed to put your name on the book, and you must leave it without a name and put it back in a certain place in the convent every day when you're finished with it. But she got the book and she put her name on it because she thought it would be safer that way. And when the Reverend Mother got to hear about it, she was brought up before and hauled over the
Did
coals.
this happen in this century?
Yes,
You mean?
it happened in it happened in Ireland very recently.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Stupid,
Stupid.
I would say. We are allowed to have things we need. Oh, in some of the congregation, they say, "This is our book," and this is, when it is my book, I would say it is my book. Why say our book? On the contrary, I wouldn't like a nun to have too many possessions because she'll have to pay heavy duty when she travels.
What about, are you a bit of a rebel? Did you ever do anything rebellious?
Yes.
What did you do?
I led a big strike just 3 months before I joined the convent.
Here. Very good. Well. What was the strike about? What was the strike about?
I'm a bit patriotic. I love my country very much.
Yes.
And I think my country loves me too.
And?
And small example for it is the day we got our independence, I was just a kid of 9 or 10. I was right under the flag when it was being hoisted. And instead of going home after the hoisting of the flag, I jumped into a truck and I screamed Jai Hind and Long Live India and many other things in Hindi which I didn't understand at all. And my father was very upset at home, wondering where I was. I was beginning to make use of my independence, I suppose. That's one reason. The second thing was why I led the strike.
Why you led the strike, yeah.
A little port in India, Goa, I'm sure you all have heard about it, was under the Portuguese. And India was trying to take over, and rightly so. Of course, religious sentimentality prompted us to say, don't take over, that's a Catholic port and Catholic government. But I think it was very important. If enemies attacked us, that was a nice inlet for the enemy to come in. And I felt we should. Oh, the nun said, I was not religious enough, I was not Catholic enough. Perhaps I felt I was more Catholic than they were. Because our government wouldn't object to our practicing the faith, even if the port was taken over by the Indians. Now, the Indians attempted to take over Goa, and they were ill-treated. I was in college that year with the same nuns I've joined just now. So we heard that the Indians were very badly treated, and we wanted to mourn over it. Perhaps a little fun also.
A little fun.
Yes.
Yes, a little fun.
So we asked the principal to give us a holiday that day. She says, no, it's not going to be a holiday, be in class. So whether you give a holiday or not, we are not going to be in class. Finally, she called up the assembly and said, yes, it is a holiday, but tomorrow, which is the weekly holiday, is going to be a working day. This was too much for me. As soon as she got down the platform, I got up there. And I said,
I don't think you have to finish that. I think we all know what you mean. What do you
name though, isn't it?
what
Candida.
Candida, yes. What happened to this boyfriend that you had that wanted to marry you in the end? What happened to him?
His heart broke while mine was full and entire.
And where is he now? Do you know?
Fortunately, he's married, he's very happy, and every time I go down to Mangalore, he comes with his wife to see me.
He doesn't.
He does.
How about that for a humanism or forgiveness or whatever?